Hello friends, a very warm welcome to Coding Techniques again. Today we are going to work with another episode of our Uber Eats clone application. So we are going to work with this search page. A very beautiful design of the search page which is similar to the Uber Eats application. You will definitely like it. And without wasting any more time, let's get started with our today's video. So in this lecture we are going to design the search page, and the design is going to be something like this. You can see out here, it is similar to the Uber Eats application which you might have used, right? So this is what we are going to design, and along with that few other functionalities will be there. You're going to learn all about that when we build all this stuff. So let's get started with this. So for doing that up, I'll go to the search page HTML file at first, and out here at first what I'll do, I'll simply comment this search one, and out here let me go to search again so that we can see the design whatever we are building. Alright, so as you can see it is commented, right? Now at first I'll start with our ion header where I'll pass ion no border class because I don't want any border to show up. Okay, and then we are going to straight away jump into our ion content. So in the ion content we are going to do a lot of stuff. Let's start with that. So at first I'm going to have an ion grid out there where let me have some padding horizontally. So padding, ion padding, horizontal. Okay, this quotes should be written in proper manner. Now it's fine. Now within this ion grid, I will have an ion row in which I'm going to have at first the ion icon. We are first going to create the search bar. Well, we won't be using the search bar, ion search bar actually. We will be using something else. You will like it. Just watch it. So I'm going to use at first an ion icon because we want to show this icon at first, right? For that I'm having this ion icon whose name will be search and the size of it will be large. And then I'm going to use an ion input instead of the ion search bar. Well, this is gonna look nice. Just wait and watch. You can even use ion search bar also, but I wanted to show you something else because ion search bar I have already shown you many times. So let's see how we can implement the same search bar using the ion input. So in the ion input, I will have certain attributes. First one will be the type, will be text. Then I will also have a clear input. That means the cross button that occurs at the very end of this particular ion input. Whenever you type something, you can have a cross button. Alright. Then the placeholder will be search. Alright, let's see how it looks like. Let's go to our search bar. Now it is coming up, isn't it? Not bad. Now let me increase the font size of this particular search bar, right? Then it's gonna look pretty nice. So for that, I'll go to the SCSS, and out here, I'm going to work with the ion content where I will have the ion input actually. Directly I can work with that. You can even pass ion grid also. The hierarchy you can pass. Fine. So out here I'll simply pass the font size to be 1.2 rem will be fine for me, I think. Alright, now it's fine, but these two are not aligned properly. For aligning that up, what am I going to do? To my ion row, I'll pass a class ion align items center. If you pass that class, it's gonna align everything to the center. We'll check it right now, and you can see this is aligned pretty nicely. I'm happy with that. Moving on, after this ion input, I will also have a button. Say like you're typing something out here. Fine, I'll try it out. Wait. Okay, let me type something. As you can see, this button is coming up. Now, whenever I type something, I want a button to come up out here because I don't want to search whenever I stop this time. You know how to do that up. I have already shown you using the debounce. You can use that up and trigger that event. But out here, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to have a button. If I click on that button, then only the search one will work. And for that, what am I going to do? I'm going to use an ion button. So size will be small. The shape will be round. And let me just close this because that's gonna take a lot of space, right? And the color will be dark, which is defined by default. Let's correct this quotes actually. And the name of it will be search. Alright, this is coming up. Now I want it to come up conditionally because I don't want it to show up always. So when it's gonna come up, whenever we type something and we have something, and if I don't have anything, then it's gonna disappear. How to do that up? Let's do it. Now for doing that up, let me have a condition out here, ng if, let's say search button, which I'll declare it right now, don't need to worry. So if this search button exists, then only it's going to show up. And when we click on that particular button, even we can trigger that event also. So on click, I'll use a function called update search. And let me break it down. so that we can check it pretty nicely. Otherwise it's going to be too clumsy right now. Now it's easier for you to understand, correct? This is a button, this is the ion input, ion icon, everything is out here. Now we are getting the error. Let's solve that error. I'll go to the Swiperjs TypeScript file, and out here I'm going to define this search button of type boolean. Alright, now in order to get rid of this error, well, I have to create this update search function. So let me create that up. Now it is created and the error is gone. Now what I'll do, I will also have a query out here which is going to read whenever we are typing something. It's going to read that particular characters and work on that. So I'll type out here query, which will be of type string actually, because whatever we type that will be a string on. And I'm going to use that into my search with HTML out here into our ion input actually, where I'm going to use the ng model. So ng model I'm going to use, within which I'll pass this particular query. Alright. Now in order to read that query, well, we need some event to get triggered so that we can detect it up, right? And for that I'm going to use ion change. So out here, ion change will be our event that will get triggered, and I'm going to call a function called ion input query, which will read the particular event that we are going to create right now. And let's go to the Swiperjs TypeScript, and out here I'm going to create that function on input query, and in this function we are simply going to console and see what is the value of the query. So this dot query, and we'll check the value of it. I'll pass out here an identifier so that we can check what the value is and what is the string behind that to detect properly where is the actual string that we're looking for. So let me type out here input query. Let's check it out. It's gonna come up here. Now let's go to the search one. Don't worry about this overlay because that is happening for our popover. Well, that happens sometimes. Now out here, if I type something, as you can see, this is coming up and it is working properly, right? That's great. Now, if you want to do some functionality directly, well, you can do it on input query, and you can pass debounce also out here in your HTML to our ion input directly and work on that. But I'll work with the button. Alright, now one more thing I want to do out here, when we are getting some data in our on input query in the query string, then what we are going to do, well, we need to show our button whenever there is a query length greater than 0. So let's implement that up. Out here, I'll check a condition. If this dot query dot length is greater than 0, then I'm simply going to set my this dot search button to true. You can even have a function for toggling the particular button value, alright, but I'll do it in this particular manner. That's okay for me. And in the else condition, we are simply going to toggle it to false. Alright, that's it. Now let's check it out. So I'll type out here something and you can see it is coming up. Now if I just clear it up, it is gone. Type something, it is coming up. Gone. That's great. Alright, now for this update search function, well, this will be used basically when you are updating the data or the search query. Then you need to call the data from the server or from somewhere else. Then you can use this function. So I'll simply type out here. We're not going to do a lot of stuff out here as of now. I'll simply pass in the commented manner, get restaurant data or whatever you like to have out there. When you are searching something, we'll check that out. Don't need to worry. Little bit we will check it out how to do that out. Fine. So moving forward, what else do we need to do? Let's go to our HTML again and let me close it up. Now out here, after this ion row, I will work with another ion row. So I'll declare an ion row again, and within this ion row, well, basically what we are going to design now, we're going to design this part. Alright, so let's do that quickly. And for that, what am I going to do within this ion row? I'm going to use an ion column of size 12, where I'll pass an ion label whose name will be top categories. Alright, and in fact this one also I'll align to the center, so I'll simply copy this particular class and let me just enter out here so that everything is aligned properly. Now I'll simply pass this particular class out here along with some margin top, because I want some margin at the top side, so that will look nice. Fine, let's check it out. Alright, now you can see this is coming up. That's great. The next thing that we are going to have is another ion column, but this time the size will be 6. Maximum size is actually 12, you know that, right? So we are going to work with this ion column and build our boxes out here. That's going to be pretty interesting. So out here, in order to look this up, I need the category array. So now in my TypeScript, I'm going to create a property called categories of type any array, which will be an empty array initially. And then on our ng on in it, I'm going to initialize it up. So I'll just simply paste this. I've already created that up. You can get it from my source code, whose link is already shared in the description. Alright, let's work on that now. And in fact, I'll change it to Indian, Italian and Mexican instead of American. Mexican. Now it will be fine because we have that particular categories available in page, so we can use that up. Moving forward, what do we have to do? Let's go to our search page again, HTML file, and out here I'm going to loop this particular ion column. So I'll be using ng4 let category of categories, and within this ion column, what am I going to have? Well, I'll be using an ion card. That's going to look pretty nice. So ion card, within which we are going to have an ion card header. And in this ion card header, we are going to work with the ion card title. So I'll declare it out here. You can see suggestion is coming up, right? So ion card title, well, I'm going to pass the category name. Out here, category, we just pass out here, category ? .name. To be on the safe side, I'm giving a question mark. If it does not exist, still it's gonna work, but we know that it's gonna work because we already have that array, right? Now let's go to our search again, search page. Now you can see this is coming up, right? But not at the center. So let me align it at the center. I'll give a class out here to my ion column and align it to the ion text center. Let's check it out. Alright, now it is centered up. It is looking good. I'm going to change this color from black to light color because we will be having a background also, or I go for the background. Let's go for the background at first. So for the background, what am I going to do? To my ion card, I'm going to pass the background directly. So out here, let me use style.background image. Well, we can use any style also, which we have used earlier, but this time I'm going to show you with the style one. So all the steps I'm going to show you. Now within this, it's going to be pretty interesting. So I need to pass a dynamic image that we have in our array, but I need some gradient also out there because of blackish shadow I need to pass, otherwise the image will look pretty bold. Let me show you first if you are confused to understand that up. So let me pass out here the URL. Well, I have to pass within the quote, single quotes, URL, and within this I'm going to simply use the single quotes again, and within this plus, and inside it I'm simply going to pass category ? .cover. That's a name that I've given. So this is, I think, let's see. Let's wait for it to work. Now you can see this is coming up, right? Something is coming up. Now what I'll do, at first, to my title, ion card title, I'll give the color to be light so that we can see the text actually. Otherwise it's not visible right now, correct? And let me correct this again. Alright, now you can see the text bold and nice. Now let's work with the designing of this ion card. So let's go to our search page SCSS, and out here, I'm going to work with the ion card. After this ion input, ion card, to which I'm going to pass background position to be center, then background repeat to be no repeat, and background size to be cover. Alright, once I do that up, even I will fix the height so that it won't exceed that particular height of that particular card. So I'll fix the height to be, let's say 14 VH will be fine. I have worked with that earlier on, so I know 14 VH will be good. You can play around with that if you want. Then I will also have, okay, fine. As you can see out here, this is coming up, but the margin, it's taking some random margin. So let me just pass margin to be auto, and let's see what is the difference between this now. As you can see the design, but after margin auto, let's see how it looks like. All right, now it is fine. It is almost taking the whole size. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now let's work with the ion card header, where I'm going to give height to be 100%. So that it can take the full height. Otherwise, it won't take the full height maybe. So that might be the case. To be on the safe side, I just give height to be 100%. Then on ion card title, I'm going to change the font size to, let's say 1 rem will be better. Let's check it out. Alright, this is coming up, but not at the center. Well, we have fixed the height and other things. That is why I don't think it is coming at the center. So I think I need to use the transform for that. Easier to use. Transform, translate in Y direction. Let's say 2.5 VH will be better because ion vertical align or any other ion text center will not work actually if we do that up. because even changing the height will change everything. Now it is coming up, but you can see it is slightly not visible, not properly visible actually. And why is that so? Because the background which we have given is taking the image. Well, if we need to show the text properly, we need to pass some opacity or something out there. So I'll be using something differently out there. We will just like it. So out here in my HTML, I'm going to work with this background only. Out here, what am I going to do? I'm going to use a linear gradient. Let me show you linear gradient. And within this linear gradient, after this linear gradient, I'll have a comma and the URL will carry on. Now in this linear gradient, I'm going to use the blackish color with an opacity. So I'll pass RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.4 will be the opacity, which I think will be good. And the next color will be also same. So I'll simply copy it up and paste it out here. Fine. If you want, I can break it for you. Well, still not visible that much. So let me keep it in this manner. You can see that up nicely out here. Okay. Now you can see blackish opacity is there and our text is properly visible. Okay. So I think this is looking nice. And even if you want the text to align a little bit lower, you can just play around with that particular transform. All right. Now, if I want to see, well, let me just check this out. So this much of padding is there. And so our design is successfully done till here, but we need to apply a lot of things. What is that? Well, let's start with our iron header. Well, out here, I'm going to have the title where I'm going to show the query. So I'll just type out here query. And in fact, out here, whenever the button is clicked, that means on our, where is it? That means whenever we are clicking on the search button, that's going to appear. All right. So let me go to the TypeScript again. And out here on this update search, what I'm going to do, out here, I'm simply going to set this dot search bar. I'll have to create that up to true. And out here, I'm going to have another one, search bar, which is of type boolean again. Fine. So whenever the button is triggered, it's going to show the title. And when it shows the title, well, this row will disappear. That's interesting. Even this grid will disappear actually. So I just want this grid to show up whenever search bar is false, and we'll close this particular quotes. Fine. And this will show up whenever we have the search bar. All right. Also, we'll have few other things, but let's check it out at first, whether that works or not. Now I'll type out here something. Let's see. All right. And click on the search button. Now you can see this is showing up. That's great. Now out here, let's work with some other things also. So I'll go to the HTML again, and out here, well, I'll show this particular border whenever we have our search bar true. Fine. So what am I going to do? Out here, I will just use the ternary operator, and so I'll just check search bar. If it is true, then I'm going to show that up. Otherwise, I'm simply going to pass. Okay, I think I'm doing the wrong way. So if it is true, then I'm going to do nothing. Otherwise, I'll show this particular no border. That means there will be no border. Let's check it out. Okay, let me close this. If you click anywhere outside, it's going to close. Let me just type anything and click on this search. Now you can see this is coming up. That's great. And even you can have that particular color out here also if you want to our toolbar. It's going to look pretty nice. But let me skip that for the time being and work with the other stuff. So I need out here an iron buttons. The slot will be end, or I need both actually, start and end. So let me just use the start one at first, and in here I'm going to use the iron icon, and for that actually I just forgot what actually I need to do, which was the iron icon. So I'll just search out here iron icons, arrow back button we have to show out here. So let me just search for it, arrow. All right, this is the button which we need to use, and let me simply copy it up. Clicking on that will copy that up, and let's go out here, and I'm simply going to paste it. Fine, pretty simple. Now you will see that we do have this particular icon. Yes, there we go. You have it. And slot will be icon only. And let me pass this within a button actually. It's gonna look bigger one, I think. Or let me keep it in this manner. Let's check it out both ways. Whichever is fine. Now it is proper actually. I think I should keep this one only. And let me copy it up and paste it one more time. This time the slot will be end. And now I'm going to use the iron button. So let me just cut this and I'll have an iron button. Alright, within this iron button, I'm going to paste this and change this to circle outline, or sorry, close circle. I think I need the close circle out. So close circle outline. Is there anything? Let's check it out. We'll get to know. Alright, there it is. And if I just remove this outline, let's see what happens. Now it is better. I think this is what I need actually. Okay, this is proper. And what else? To the iron button, well, let me keep it as it is. I don't need to work with that right now, and I'll give the condition out here, the same condition that we have given earlier on in here to the iron title. Let's pass the same condition out here also to the iron buttons. There we go. Alright, it disappeared, and if I try to type something like Indian, it's going to come up, I hope. Yes, that's what I needed, right? So this is working. Now for this iron title, well, let me do one thing. I'll give the mode to be iOS because I want it at the center. Why to work with a lot of stuff if we can directly pass using the mode? Fine, let's check it out. Let's try it again. Now it is at the center. Well, very much at the center. I don't want it that much centered also. And for that, should I keep it in this particular manner, or I think it should take itself only, the mode. I think it's fine for Android to work with that because there will be a lot more spacing, and I am happy with that. So let's leave that. And now what am I going to do? Now whenever you click on this particular query which is presenting out here, or if you click on this close circle, then we need to come back to this thing again. And if you click on the back button also, still you can come back again. So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a function for that, and create a function at first. So out here, let me create toggle search function, and out here, well, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to simply use this dot search bar equals to not of this dot search bar. Fine. So I'm simply toggling that up. Now I'm going to pass this function directly out here to the back button, to the iron icon actually. So out here on click toggle search. Fine. Let me copy it up and paste it to our iron button also. Alright. And where else do I need? I need on the back button also, I think. Already on the back button I have given, on the cross also. And even if you click on this particular query, then also I want the same thing to happen. Well, there will be some tricky thing. I'll show you right now. Well, if you click on this particular circle, then what happens is basically the query is clean or cleared. Fine. So we need to trigger that also. So I can give out here this empty string. Fine. Which will initialize our value of this particular query. And then if somebody is clicking on this title, then I need to simply pass the whole query. So I'll pass the whole query out here. Fine. And if somebody is clicking on the back button, well, then also I think this will be cleared. So let me do one thing for this one, and the back button, I'll keep it the same. All right. Means whenever by default it will be cleared, and if you have any query, then it's gonna be the query one. Fine, let me do that up, then you will understand properly. So out here, I'll type out here QUERY, which will be a question mark. So if query, then this dot query will be equals to query that is being passed. All right, means it will remain the same actually. Yeah, it will remain the same. So we don't need to pass also actually out here. And why I'm doing that up? Okay, I don't think I need to do this because out there I cannot change. That is only as text. So what am I going to do? Out here is I'll just remove this query. Now, whenever I want to clear it up, let me pass one out here. Fine. So if there is one, that means it's going to clear it up. That is simple thing. I think we should do it up. Or even you can pass this empty string also. That will be initialized directly. All right. That's better. So if again out here I will be having the query. If query, the same thing only, but in a different manner actually. Now it will be better. We don't have to pass the else condition. This dot query will be equals to the query that is being passed. All right. Let's check it out. Okay, I'll click out here and search for Indian, hit the search button, and now this is coming up. If I click on this particular, again I'm getting back out here, that's great. If I click on this search again, and if I just click on this close one, okay, still it is visible. That's not good. Well, whether that is getting triggered or not, well, I'm not sure. If we pass one out here, I think that will be better. Okay. This will be query only, or let me call it well actually. If well, then I will empty this query. Fine. And in here, because sometimes this empty string is not detected properly, That might be the case. I think so. Now I think everything will be fine. It's time to check properly whether that gets triggered or not. And we can even call this particular add input query out here directly. But let's check it out. So I'll just type again Indian out here, hit on the search button. It is coming up. Now if I click on this particular cross, this is getting disappeared and this is still there like I told you. So we need to call this particular search button whenever we are clearing it up. So I'll just pass in this particular manner and out here this dot on input query. Fine. Let's check it now. I think this time it's gonna work properly. Alright, let's try it again one more time. Indian search button clicked. It's coming up. Let me hit the back button now. There we go. It's working nicely. Alright. It's awesome, I would say. So this is done. Now we need to do some tasks. If I click on this particular category, I want something to get triggered and show me the related restaurants. So for that, I need to get the restaurant data, and for that I'll copy it from our, I think, home page. We have it. We have already done that up. So favorites, well, I don't need that, I think. Offers, well, nearby one, I think I can, but I don't want to show the distance. Alright, I think that was being shown. Let's copy the offer one. I think that's work fine. So let me copy this offer one and let's paste it out here. But I need to call out here restaurants array, type a, initialize to an empty array, because in real time we will be getting it from the server. Well, I'll not show you out here right now, but you can work with that. This is the thing, and I'll change it to restaurant. Fine. Now out here we have the cuisines Italian, Mexican, Chinese, and Indian, Italian, Mexican. So Italian in all the three we have it. Alright, that's gonna work nice. So we need to work with that. So whenever, let me just minimize this up so that it won't eat up the whole space. And now whenever I click on this particular category, let's work on that. How to do that up? Well, I'll go to this particular row, not actually the column. Out here, if I click on it, let me break it down so that it's gonna be easier to understand. Or this card actually I think we need to work with, right? So let me have it out here. Click event. Whenever someone clicks on the particular card, then a function will be triggered. What name should I give? I think it should be the same one that will be triggered whenever the search button is being clicked. So update search will be the one. Let me pass it. Alright, so this update search will be triggered. And in fact, in my update search, I will pass the query. So because Indian will, if I click on any card, it's going to give the category name, and that category name I'm going to search in the cuisine. Well, you can search with the ID in real time, but out here I'm going to search using the name itself. Fine. So I'll pass out here category $.name. Alright. And to avoid this error, we have to pass it out here. Well, I'll pass out here query, and if query exists, let me pass this condition. If query, then I'm simply going to initialize this dot query will be equals to query. Alright, well, that's what I'm going to do out here. So this is ready. I think if I click on that, that's going to work. But out here, we need to do some functionality to get our data. But let's see whether that actually triggers or not if I click on that. So if I click on this Indian, as you can see, this Indian is coming up. Alright, now if I just click on this one, again, out here, everything is working fine. If I click on this cross, it is getting cleared up. That's working. Now we need to get the restaurant data. That's the only thing that is required out here as of now. So let me change this to all restaurants. Alright, because I will be having another restaurant arrays which we can show out here. So all restaurants, and I'll copy it up, paste it once again, name it as restaurants. Fine. So this array will hold our data, actual data that we want to show. Alright, now in our update search, this dot restaurants will be equals to this dot all restaurants dot filter, and in the filter I'm going to use this particular thing. Alright, I have to return those which are having that particular cuisine. So I need to access that cuisine at first. So let me just check the array. What do we have? We have the cuisine array out here. So in here, I need to access the cuisines at first. So x.cuisines.find. Let me use this find function where I'll use some other variable z, where z.name will be equals to our this dot query, and let me have a constant data which will hold this particular value. And if we have some data out there, all right, if data, that means there's something that is matching out there, then what am I going to do? I'll return true, otherwise return false. All right, let's check it out. Okay, let me search for Indian, and okay, I don't think I have anything out here. So in the restaurants, whatever data do we have to console that up to check it out whether there is something or not. So this dot restaurants, and out here I'll give an identifier so that we can match update restaurant data. Fine. Let me open this up also so that we can see in the console. Let me click on this Indian, and I don't see any data out here. What is the value of this particular data? Even I will console that up. Alright, let's see. Wait on, there is an error out here. What is the error? Okay, actually out here this query is an optional one. Fine. Now the error is gone. There was a small error. Let's check it again. Fine, I'll click on it and let's see what do we get. Again, data is undefined. We don't have anything called, I think it was name or something else. Okay, cuisines. I'm sorry. This should not be name, directly the Z. Now let's check it out. My mistake. I'll click on Indian again. This time we do get the data. 2 times it was excluded, and on the third attempt it got it. And that's what we got out here. So we got our data. If I go for other one, Italian, I think I should get 3. Yes, I'm getting it. So it's working nicely. And what if I remove this particular return false? Let's check it out whether that works or not. Alright, I'll click on this Indian again. Same thing only. It's gonna give us the result. Going back, clicking on Mexican. Mexican was 3 times, so what? Let's check it out. 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times. Alright, so our query is working. Well, now we need to show that up. And for showing, I can simply call this restaurant data directly. Fine. And for that, let me just see how we have done that up. In our components, we have the restaurant one, and it is declared out here. Fine. Alright, it is also exported. So we can directly use that up. And in fact, this one, I'll pass it in this particular manner out here. I'll make a copy of it. Now, this is a better approach to work with. Both are okay. You can use whichever you like to have. Fine. Now, in my search module, I will have this components module at first and import it up. Once that is imported, we are good to use that up. So I'll go to the HTML, and out here, let me close this. And after this iron grid, I will have the app restaurant. Alright, that should be passed within a condition. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have an iron list actually, because that will be an iron list thing only. So in the iron list, I'm going to pass the condition ng if, first of all, search bar, if it is true, and okay, the sports and restaurants dot length, question mark dot length is greater than 0. So we need to check both these conditions, and out here, if that condition is satisfied, then I'm going to pass this particular component directly in this, or actually we will have to pass, but we will show that up. Now I'm going to simply loop it g4 let restaurant of restaurants, and I'm going to pass out here the restaurant data. Fine, let's break it down a bit. Alright, I think this is done. Mostly, we'll just check it out, and I think everything will be working fine. Alright, let's go to our search, and I'll click on Italian. We are having the data. That's great. That is working pretty nicely, I would say. And let me just go to the home page. I think we have done some extra thing out there. Maybe, I'm not sure. Well, let's check it out. I think extra is being done out here. It is just being passed in the iron item group. That's it. In the iron item group, well, something is done or not. Check that. Margin bottom is given, and the background is transparent. So let me have this. If I have the same thing everywhere, then it's going to be problemsome. So let me just copy it up, or we can create a class also for that, and you can declare it in that particular global.sh so that there won't be any conflict if you and list anywhere else. But let me just copy it up and paste it out here for the time being. Iron content only, I'm going to have that. And iron content, well, let's give the color to be light color, but I just want to show the light color whenever there is a content. Fine. So I'll play around with this color. If search bar is true, then the color will be light. Otherwise, well, I won't pass any color, so I'll keep it as empty. Let's check it out how it looks like. Alright, let's go to the search page again. This time, now it is fine. As of now, let me just type out here. Again, I should have clicked somewhat. Anyways, now it is properly empty, but I cannot see the data. Why is it so? Okay, instead of iron item, let me give. Alright, now it is showing up. I don't know. It was actually I wrote iron item group out here, but I'm not using that up. Maybe that is the error that might have occurred. But I think now it is fine. Even I can give some margin bottom. Well, it was not there in earlier or what in our home page. How do we have that? Well, I do see a border out here, right? But it is not showing out here. Maybe I have done something here, which I'm not sure, but let's check it once again. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me check it. If I click on this Mexican, well, I don't see any margin out here, which I can see out here. Why is that happening? Exactly the same. I don't understand why. As of now, search bar is true and we have the light color background, correct? That's what I have given. Alright, I have made some changes actually, same as earlier which we have done in our home page. I have put the app restaurant component or the restaurant component into our iron item group and looped that iron item group out there. And in the SCSS, I have passed the same thing only, iron item group, and within that margin bottom to be of 2VH. Well, if I do that up, then only I'm getting this particular margin. Otherwise, I'm not getting that up, so I'm doing that. Alright, so that's what is being done out here. That's working out here nicely. So this is being working. Alright, so this is working pretty nicely. So with this, we have successfully implemented our search page and it is working pretty nicely. You can see the design out here. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. That will help the channel grow. And if you want to learn more about Ionic in depth from beginner to advanced level, you can take my course. Well, there is a limited period offer that is going on right now. You will get the course at a very minimal price, which is available at Udemy. So check the offers, links are there in the description. Go and enroll right now if you haven't done that. So with that being said, I'll wrap up this lecture out here. Thank you very much for watching and see you guys another time.